All right, for this video, again, I'm going to give you some information. I'm going to give you vertices, I'm going to give you focus points, foci points, and what we want to do is to write the equation of the ellipse. So the very first thing I would do when I see something like this, and as you can see, drawing a picture is key to solving a problem like this. You don't have to have graph paper. It's helpful. You don't have to, not required. Simply do this on your table. That would be fine. But now, after this, once I get my points, we got to now know what to do. So the fact that my vertices are left and right. So if that's the case, this is going to be more of a horizontal ellipse. Now, once we identify what that is, now we got to go through and figure something else out. And that something to find out is the center of where the ellipse is. And I get that from taking the average of either my vertice points or even taking the average of my foci points. And I got to find that point right in the middle. It happens to be 1, 4. So what we can do next is the following. The fact that we know what our center is, we can go ahead and write the equation. We know there's going to be a plus sign, but since it's not at the origin, I know I'm going to have parentheses. And remember, 1, 4, these are the opposite numbers. The question is, well, I got to figure out what goes on the bottom of this. And I'm kind of leaving something off because many of you guys have been leaving something off. Remember, an ellipse in standard form should be equal to 1. The question is, what goes on the bottom here? And that's what we have to figure out. All right, guys, as you can see here, I have a highlighted segment that goes from the center all the way to my vertex, and we know that we have a diagram on one of our note cards that says from the center to the vertex, that's A units long. Well, I know I can just count. I know A is equal to 5. The other thing I need to know is the value of B, but I don't have co-vertices. I do have something else that could help me find the value of B. All right, guys, so as you can see here, I have another highlighted part that goes from the center to the focus, and I know that the center to the focus, according to your note card that I gave you, that distance is what we call C units from the center to your focus. Now, it doesn't matter which way you go. I know that the distance from the center to the focus is 3 units. Now, the question is, well, how do I figure out B? Well, if you recall on a note card, you had this equation given to you right here that says, well, I know the value of C. I know the value of A in this case. Well, if I plug those values in, 3 for C, 5 for A, and I go through and work it out, then I can get B squared is 16, and I know the value of B is 4. But I don't need B and A. I need something else to write my equation. And as you can see here, I have A squared is 25, B squared is 16, and you need to remember the properties of an ellipse. The A squared term is always the bigger number. So therefore, I know that since it's more horizontal, I know that the bigger number has to go underneath the value of X. If it was more vertical, it would go underneath the Y term. So I know that my answer would have this 25 on bottom, this 16 on bottom in that order, and we've got the complete answer given the vertices and the focus points. I have now found the correct equation.